Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Cage. I'm your host, Jim Graham, and today, joining me on the line, we have a special guest. He is fresh off his victory at UFC Fight Night Dublin. He is UFC lightweight fighter Stevie Braveheart Ray. And Stevie, thanks for coming on the show.
No bother, mate. Thanks for having me.
In this fight, Stevie, it was your first fight that you didn't get a finish inside the UFC. And I was wondering the fact that you didn't get a finish, if that disappointed you at all.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that I couldn't get the finish. Looking back, I feel that I maybe played it a little bit safe, and I probably could have got the finish if I took him down a little bit earlier. I think I gave his ground game a little bit too much. Well, I was going to say I gave it a little bit too much respect, but to be honest, I didn't take it to the ground to see how good he really was. So, looking at his last two fights, he fought Sergio Moraes, a world jiu-jitsu black belt, and the Tinu Pakalin guy. So he was a good grappler as well. So it's hard to tell how good of a grappler he actually was. So I felt like, I went in there, I wasn't too worried about jiu-jitsu, but because I felt like I was winning on the feet and I felt comfortable, I didn't feel in danger at any time. Just really decided to keep going and keep with the flow and to change it up. I would have hated to, be winning on the feet and then to change it and then lose. But looking back, I reckon I would have been far too strong for him on the ground. And he's quite a really jiu-jitsu guy, whereas I like ground and pound and stuff. And I think my style would have struggled with. But it's good to go the 3 rounds in the UFC, especially with this IV ban and stuff now. And it's good to know that I've done the 3 rounds. I didn't get tired. I could have done another 3 rounds if I really wanted to. But yeah, a little bit disappointed, but I got the win. That's the most important part.
Looking at the fight against Mikhail, it seemed like in the first round you really were mainly throwing punches, and then in rounds 2 and 3 you started throwing a lot more kicks along with your strikes. And I was wondering if that was part of your game plan, to kind of strike early and then mixing kicks later as the fight went on.
To be honest, I never really had too much of a game plan. I felt confident in all areas. I was just really go with the flow and beat them anywhere. I didn't have any preset, punch, kick, whatever. I was just mixing it up. Watching the fight back, one thing I noticed that he's doing a lot is really trying to push for the outside foot. Obviously, I don't know if he's fought southpaw before, but with me being southpaw, that's probably one of the things that he's been working on for this fight, trying to really get the outside foot. So I feel like I could have maybe, stopped him from doing that. And it wasn't until I've watched it back that I've realised he's really trying to steal the outside foot position all the time. Whereas me, I'm used to fighting right-handers, so I was just doing it naturally, trying to. But yeah, I felt comfortable everything I was doing. So yeah, I was just mixing up, and I felt good.
Towards the end of the fight with Mikhail, you threw a big slam his way towards the end of the 3rd round, and even afterwards in the post-fight interview, you said that you maybe could have done that sooner, take him down like that. So I was wondering kind of your thoughts a little more about that quote and also about the big slam that you had on him.
Yeah, basically, I felt a lot, I felt a lot stronger than him when he pinned me against the cage a couple of times, and I'm not sure how much of the takedown he was looking for, but I was trying to get the tie clinch a few times against when I was against the cage, because I didn't feel in danger of getting taken down, so I felt comfortable trying to get the tie clinch so I can start working knees and stuff. but I just used it to kind of circle off the cage, and then we broke away. But I was able to circle him and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I took him down late in the third with 10 seconds to go. And I was, while I was doing it, I was kind of just thinking, you know, it was good to get that takedown, just to prove that I could have come down any time I wanted, I feel anyway. But I just chose not to do that. I chose to stand and trade. And the only reason I didn't take him down, which I maybe should have, so I could get the finish, but I didn't take him down because I was winning on the feet, and there was nothing he was throwing at me that was troubling me. So, yeah. And while I had him sort of up, I wasn't sure what to do. You know, it was only 10 seconds left, so I got a little thought in my head. I'll try and throw him as far as I can. So that's what I done, just launched him in the air.
Once again, you made weight for this fight, Stevie, so I was wondering, did you have any difficulties with the weight cut this time around?
Yeah, no, it was pretty easy. You know, I've never ever missed weight, and I know what I'm doing. I worked with Mike Dolce this camp. He gave me his personal help, so Dolce day-to-day basis. Thanks to him, it made the weight cut, you know, really easy. And something I was looking to do with an IV ban, I was looking to maybe cut a little less water.
Before I got a chance to talk with you today, I checked your Facebook page, and you kind of threw out a question to your fans about your next fight, who they would like to see you fight, and you also threw out that you possibly would like to fight on the London, England card here coming up in February. So I was wondering, is that probably your next fight, and who would you like to fight on that card, whether it's London or anywhere else?
Well, I'm not too fussed about being on the London card or you know, it doesn't matter where it is really. In a way, I'd quite like to fight maybe over in Vegas or something as well. But the date for London card works out well. I mean, it means I can enjoy my Christmas, my New Year, and then get sort of straight to fight camp sort of after that, like the start of January. That gives me like 8 weeks, I think, roughly, for a fight camp for the London card. So the timing and stuff works well. As for an opponent, I'm not too. There's no really anybody out there that I could see, and you know, that I'm saying, you know, I want to fight him or whatever. I'll just fight anyone the UFC put to me. That's the best way to know. I mean, I've not got a hatred for anybody or anybody I'd like to fight. There has been a few people that was mentioning Norman Park, and there was a few saying about Ross Pearson and stuff. I noticed Pearson's just been matched on a different card just before it. And Norman Park, I mean, I don't know if that's a fight that the UFC would want to put on, but if it is, then obviously I'd be up for that. I spoke to Norman a little bit in Dublin. He's a nice guy and stuff, but you know, it's the fight game, so if the UFC would like, UFC or the fans or whatever would like to see a fight between me and him, then so be it. Like I said, I'll fight anybody the UFC put in front of me and just keep working my way up towards the top.
As you mentioned there, fans were saying Norman Park. I think that would be a great matchup for you as well moving forward, but just a couple other names I'll throw out there for you. Any interest in fighting guys like Olivier Mercier or Francisco Trinaldo?
Well, those two are probably both unavailable, or should I say like a no-go, because Francisco Trinaldo has just been matched with Ross Pearson. He's fighting Ross Pearson, I think, January sometime, on the, I think it's a UFC Boston card or something. I just seen that today, so I'd imagine the UFC, if I'm going to be on the London card, they're going to want me having an opponent before that date, and obviously they're not going to book a fighter that's already got a fight. I mean, I didn't know too much about the guy, but obviously I'll fight anyone. And Olivier Mercier is my teammate, so I'm not going to be fighting him either.
Sticking with the TriStar theme here for just a second, Stevie, I wanted to get your thoughts on a guy you know a little bit, Joe Duffy, who had to pull out of the main event for UFC Fight Night Dublin. So just kind of your thoughts on Joe not being able to go on last Saturday.
Basically, just as the fight game, he got rocked in sparring his last sparring day, and the UFC officials and doctors and stuff said that he wasn't fit to fight, so Joe never really had a choice. I'm sure if he did have a choice, then he would say, you know, I'll be alright and I'll still fight and whatever, but I didn't know the outs and ins. Obviously, he got hurt in sparring. I don't know how hurt he got. I don't know who made him go to the doctors or the hospital, whether he went himself. But really, it's a good thing, really. If he got concussed, then fighters' health and safety is more important than fighting or whatever. So I noticed it's been rebooked and stuff. Obviously gutting for him and all the Irish fans and stuff, but the fight's back on, and I'm sure it'll be a good fight.
Also sticking with TriStar, the young kid, he's just kind of come out of nowhere and burst onto the scene, 19 years old, Sage Northcutt. He had a chance to go up and train with the guys at TriStar, much like you, and of course you had your fight, so you weren't able to kind of train with him and see what he's all about, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the young kid, Sage Northcutt.
Yeah, well, I've seen this guy. You know, he'd been signed, and he obviously looks the part. He's in great shape, and I've not watched too much footage of him or anything, but I've seen his fight. You know, he steamrolled the guy and finished him. He looked good. He looks an athletic guy. I actually thought it would maybe be a good idea to call him out. You know, someone like him coming in, getting a lot of attention, he's 155er. I thought, you know, that might be a good idea to, after the Dublin fight, I could maybe call him out and try get a fight with him. But then I realised that he had joined TriStar, so that was that out the window. But yeah, I mean, he looks good. I've not seen him training or anything yet because I was home by the time he was there. He's got the right attitude, the right mindset and stuff, and he's got potential to be a good fighter.
Jim Graham talking with UFC lightweight fighter Stevie Ray. You can follow him on Twitter at StephenRayMMA. And Stevie, you mentioned earlier that Vegas might be a possible destination for your next fight. So besides Vegas, is there anywhere in particular you would like to fight next?
Just anywhere really. I mean, I've fought in Europe so far. It's been good, but you know, I want to get my name out there. And, my name's out there a little bit in Europe. I'd like to maybe get on a card out with Europe maybe and start putting my name sort of worldwide. But to be honest, it doesn't matter where it is for me. It doesn't matter if it's in Scotland or Europe or Vegas or Brazil or anywhere. You know, I just like to fight. So I'll let the UFC kind of decide. Be good to maybe get on a Canada card, especially if it was in Montreal, since my other sort of gym at TriStar's there. Yeah, and then I'd like to obviously fight in Scotland again. Hopefully the comebacks next year or something. I could, you never know, I might, if I keep racking up the wins, I could main event it. That'd be cool. But yeah, I'm not so fussed about where I fight or who I fight. More just UFC give me my job and tell me who I'm fighting, and as long as I keep getting those wins, that's the most important part for me.
All right, Stevie, I'll end the interview with a few fun questions here. Of course, the new James Bond movie is coming out, Spectre. I was wondering if you plan on seeing that one.
Yeah, I went and seen it last night. It was good. yeah, I went with 5 of my friends. We went and had a Nando's, got some food, and then went and watched the film. I got some cheesy nachos. I was stuffing my face in the pictures. But yeah, it was good. Good film. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I wouldn't say it's rubbish either. It was just a good film. I would say I probably liked Skyfall better. But yeah, it was good. Recommend. It's worth a watch.
So that question will lead me to my next one. Who is your favorite actor to play James Bond?
As in whoever's played them so far.
Some of the big actors that have played James Bond, of course, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and now, of course, Daniel Craig.
I liked Pierce Brosnan. That's probably the sort of time where I was watching Bond films with my age and stuff. But you know, I think Daniel Craig does a good job. And yeah, so probably Daniel Craig. I think he's done a good job. And then before that, when I was watching all the Bond films, it was Pierce Brosnan. So my favourite actor out with that is Denzel Washington. He's the man.
Okay, Stevie, I'll get you out of here with this. Of course, my co-host, Billy Brandt, usually sitting next to me, not able to join me on the interview call today, but he wanted to ask you, why is Braveheart your favorite movie, and how many times have you seen the movie Braveheart, of course, playing off your nickname, Braveheart?
It's not my favourite movie, but I do like the movie. It's it's a good gets you right in the mood to, I don't know. It's just I know it's not probably the exact truth of what's happened and stuff, but it's just a good film. It's obviously part of Scotland. It's historic, and the reason that's my nickname is, one, because obviously it's a well-known Scottish thing. Two, a lot of my sort of older fights I've been known for my heart. I show a lot of heart in my fights. There's been a few fights before where I've maybe been getting beat, and I just didn't give up, and I've came back and won. Took a few fights, or one fight in particular, I took a big beating in round 1, but I managed to turn it around and come back and win. The crowd sort of spurred me on. So yeah, just a mixture of being Scottish, having a sort of a brave heart, if you like, having a strong heart, and then yeah, that's probably it. And maybe fighting, I feel like fighting is in my blood, and it was kind of, I wouldn't say it's what I've been born to do, because I don't think that's such a thing you're born to do, but just the way I've been brought up, the places I've been brought up, and it just all suits. I've had a bit of a rough childhood, and I've had to fight a lot and stuff because I've either been bullied or just brought up in rough areas. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
He is Stevie Ray. You can follow him on Twitter at Stephen Ray MMA. And once again, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it and look forward to your next fight.
No what? Thanks for having me. And yeah, everybody that's listening, give me a follow on Twitter and Facebook, and keep an eye out, because I believe that I'm going to be the next rising star from the UK. And I'll go be chasing that belt. I will be UFC champion one day.
That was Braveheart Stevie Ray right here on Beyond the Cage.